I know what you did last summer. No, I really don't. And I don't care to. But what I care to do is talk about this movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is sort of rebooting the franchise that started back in 1997. It's a slasher, oh my gosh, who done it, type of film. But is it really worth bringing back after so many years? I have an answer. And it might not make you happy. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're getting right into all of my thoughts on I Know What You Did Last Summer. It hits theaters this weekend, so when you see it, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think of the film. Do you agree with me? And if you haven't already, hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel because, yes, we've got a lot of things happening, a lot of new things, so if you're here for the first time, this is all new. And it's about to keep changing. We're even going to go live next Thursday for San Diego Comic-Con. 2 panels, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then right after, Into the Dragon Prince. So I can't wait to discuss all the news with you right here live on stream. And I don't know, a little birdie told me we might be upgrading the audio too. So listen, things are changing and I can't wait to do this with you guys. And if you like this video, hit me that like as well. So guys, it's time to get into all of my spoiler-free thoughts on I Know What You Did Last Summer. A huge thank you to Sony Pictures for giving me the chance to see this early for review. I did drop a social reaction on social media, and, well, the film is like, we'll get into it. It's directed by Jennifer Kaytin Robinson, who was the writer for Thor: Love and Thunder, and the film stars an ensemble cast led by Madelyn Cline, who plays Danica, Chase Sui Wonders, who plays Ava, Jonah Hauer-King, who plays Milo, Tyriq Withers, who plays Teddy, and Sarah Pidgeon, who plays Stevie. Now, if you've seen the original, yes, the killer in the original had this like fisherman's outfit and a hook, and it was crazy. And it was actually pretty enjoyable. I did enjoy the original. Now, this one also has a killer fisherman who's under the mask, right, type of deal, and they have a hook and a spear gun. It is pretty gruesome. But the film itself, the premise is not anything different from the original. Some things change I can't get into because it's spoiler territory, but we're going to talk about the summary of the film, synopsis, I should say, of the film right now. A group of friends are terrorized by a stalker in a fisherman's outfit who knows about a gruesome incident from their past. I guess you could say he knows what they did last summer. It's like the whole premise of the movie. Oh man, well, it's time to get into my positives and negatives for this movie, guys. Again, it is interesting it's coming out during the summer because I'm like, wow, it's like a horror type of slasher thriller film. And you would expect that like in October, but I know why they're doing it for the summertime because the film is around the July 4th weekend. At least that's the time period inside of the film. And yeah, I mean, the movie itself, I think, might do decently at the box office, but quality-wise, is it good? So let's get into my positives right now, guys, because you know we love to start on an optimistic note. So we're going to begin with this. The first 2 acts of the movie are actually pretty decently enjoyable. Now, you know, if you've been following the channel, I'm not a fan of horror or thrillers, but I'm a fan of the Scream franchise, so this is a film that's sort of in the same vein. And the movie itself is incredibly campy, so it's expected that the script isn't taking itself seriously. I mean, guys, sometimes there were some ridiculous lines of dialogue, and I thought to myself, I can't believe they're actually going this route, but it makes sense because this is what the original film was like as well. Pretty campy. So I get it. And the movie does have some decent writing at times, and other times it made me sigh, but we won't get into that right now. I just think that, you know, the cast and crew, they buy into it, which helps the film ultimately. And I wasn't expecting the movie to have as much humor as it did. I mean, it helped that I watched it with an audience, a packed theater, but even some of the kills were a little funny. Well, most of them. Some of them I'm just like, ugh, thank God I'm not eating Twizzlers right now. But yeah, the film itself is funnier than I expected it to be. So yeah, it might be like kind of fun to watch this with a group of people. So you probably should do that if you're going to go to the theaters and watch it yourself. And when it comes to any thrillers or hack and slash sort of films, you gotta know whether or not the kills are gnarly, and here they're pretty gnarly. So for fans of those slasher type films, yes, you'll find this movie probably satiating your taste buds, which is gross. I don't like saying that in the context of this film, but there's not really anything that's mind-blowingly creative. It just sort of fits the vibe of the film. I mean, things don't come out of left field. Like, you know when a scene is going to begin to get into, oh, the main characters are fighting for their lives. They telegraph everything in this film. To be honest, there's nothing left to the imagination. But I'm not gonna lie, there were times where I couldn't help but laugh at the ridiculousness that was happening on screen, and I think that's the movie's intention. So yeah, the kill scenes were definitely what you would expect from a film like this. And this all leads into the fact that I Know What You Did Last Summer just knows its audience. At times. I'm not going to say the entire movie was able to really cater to its audience. I mean, heck, I'm not Gen Z or Gen Alpha, but at least I could appreciate the fact that there were some moments where I'm like, yeah, I've heard that said before. Yep, that sounds exactly like what a Gen Zer or a Gen Alpha-er would say in real life. I mean, heck, they were even smart with their product placement, like products that Gen Zs and Gen Alphas love. And on a technical note, while there's nothing glowing with the cinematography, there is one scene that I think is the most well-shot scene in the movie and one of the better shot scenes all year long. It's the scene of, well, you've seen it in the trailer, where, is it Danica? Yeah, Danica's her name, where she gets in the bathtub and it's an overhead shot before she gets in. She drops a bath bomb, you know, the ones that are supposed to make you feel all relaxing and it smells so good. But this one was like pure red. And it was just such a parallel to what was happening downstairs with her fiance. We've seen the trailer. So, guys, it was pretty cool. And I was like, wow, I am shocked at this level of cinematography in the framing and the blocking. It's all in a film like this. And when it comes to the acting, you don't come to these movies for crazy good performances. However, there were a couple of standouts. I really like the performances by Chase Suey Wonders and Tyriq Withers. This friend group, you know, they're all so different in terms of their personalities, but when you have Chase Suey Wonders delivering a very dramatic moment, it felt raw and organic, and I thought, man, she's pretty good. And, you know, I had to stop watching the studio. It wasn't really my thing, so I didn't finish the season at all. But, you know, she had a good performance in that Apple TV original as well. But, man, Chase Suey Wonders is the one actress in this film that I could say with full confidence she understood the assignment. Like, she was really buying into the character, and she does a very good job. And then you have Tyriq Withers, who plays this, like, you know, pretty boy. He's fancy, he's rich, but he's got some layers to him. And honestly, some of his line deliveries reminded me of Channing Tatum for some reason. But, like, in a good way, because I don't think Channing Tatum is a bad actor. So I thought Tyriq Withers also played his role very well. And I know there are a lot of fans of Madelyn Cline out there, so if you're wondering, how is she in the film? I think she's fine, but, like, it took me a little while to get into her character. I mean, it was just really rough out the gate. You know, I get it. She's trying to play this, like, dumb, rich, spoiled, you know, like, you know, queen of the ball type of character, but, like, I got tired of it after a little while. Up until they finally give this character some stakes. And I'm not talking about the steak you eat. I'm just really hungry right now at the time of recording. But I'm talking about, like, actual conflict for this character to deal with. And that's where Madelyn Cline actually does well. She also, like, screams really well. Like, when she's super surprised and she's like, you know, I guess it's scream queen for a reason, you know that phrase? But she does pretty darn good in that category too. So Madelyn Cline, better as the movie goes on, rough out of the gate. But yeah, those two standouts I mentioned, Chase Suey Wonders and Tyriq Withers, awesome. They do a really good job here. So those are the positives, you guys. I kind of now want to get into my negatives, because the movie is fine for the first two acts, like I said, decently enjoyable. But then we get into the third act, which is, it is awful. Like, I was shocked at how much of a home run swing they took, and they struck out. I mean, it just landed with a thud for me. Some of our audience members were having fun with it. I can't lie to you. But for me, I was really disappointed because the execution just went out of the window. The third act of this film completely unravels the entire movie for me, because it takes not one but two major swings. It's a twist that comes out of left field that might make some hardcore fans laugh, but for me it distracted from the entire movie. It just never felt earned for me. Like, there was not one moment where I could tell you in that third act, like, oh yeah, the build-up was worth the payoff. No. I was like, just so disappointed. And then you have the cherry on top, which is the very final scene of this movie that includes some of the worst writing I might have ever seen in a slasher film. They were discussing a topic that was really pretty serious for the story, and it was way too casual. It didn't make sense to me. The movie tries to play us off with a needle drop, and yeah, I know what you did last summer. I wish I didn't know what happened in the final act of this movie because it ruins the film for me. It just felt like the movie didn't care too much in the end, and I asked myself, well, why should I? I mean, the movie hardly cares to sometimes develop our characters, and this is a huge issue I have with this film. They spend so much time with cameos and Easter eggs, you almost forget you're watching a 2025, almost like an adaptation of the original 97 movie because you feel stuck with that 97 film. Why didn't they just make a movie with the original cast? What are we doing? Some of the cameos were okay, honestly, and I did like Jennifer Love Hewitt in this movie. The movie feels stuck in the past. We seldom get a scene where a previous character in this franchise isn't mentioned or memorialized on screen. So instead of relying on snappy writing or giving us something to chew on with these new cast of characters, it feels like the cameos were kind of leaned on as a crutch in this movie, and that's not very good. And when it comes to our new cast of characters, I never really cared about these characters. I recognize some good performances, sure, like we talked about, but I never cared about them. So if something happened, I wasn't like, oh my gosh. But then I think of Scream 5 and 6, and then I'm like, whoa, Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, I care about these characters, you know? And I just don't care about these characters, and I know you did last summer. It's not that they're not likable. It's just that the writing is really bad, and they also distract from developing these characters when you're relying so much on, we gotta do fan service around every corner. Mamma mia. It feels like this reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer just failed to make me care about a lot of the motivations of these characters and the way that the new Scream movies did. So I'm not trying to compare this movie to Scream 5 and 6, but it's pretty good comparison once you stay through the mid-credit scene. So overall, you guys, I can't tell you I would recommend this film unless you're a hardcore fan. I mean, you can wait for this film if you really, really want to see it. Go and see it opening weekend because it is better with a crowd. I won't say that the movie is terrible. It unravels at the end. And it's such a shame because it had some momentum. And then it just dissipates right there in the third act. The minute that third act starts, I'm like, oh, they better not be doing what I think they're doing. And they did it. And I'm like, ugh. And then they did something else. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can we please just recognize maybe when you're doing too much? And I think that this movie tries to knock us out cold and give us a twist that's unforgettable. But unless you're a hardcore fan, I'm not so sure that you're going to be as easy on this movie. I think that there's a lot of nostalgia at play for fans of the original, and I should say mega fans of the original. But nostalgia can only take you so far because when you're trying to do that and introduce a new cast of characters, sometimes things get left out. And unfortunately, in this movie, our new cast of characters feel left out of the mix by the end. So I Know What You Did Last Summer, it delivers some gnarly kills. It's got some decent cinematography and some standout performances by our leads, but the execution of the film down the stretch and a lot of the writing left me very disappointed, and also by the end with my head in my hands thinking, what are we doing here? It's a movie that will, for me, be pretty forgettable this summer, but hey, I think if you're a huge fan, you're going to see it, and when you do, let me know in the comments below what you think of this film and my review. And guys, if I had to rate the film, I'm giving this like 2 fish hooks out of 5. And maybe 2.5, honestly. Probably 2.5. I want to be a little generous here. But it's not a film that I can tell you I loved. I didn't really think it's good. It's fine up until the end, which is terrible. So, yeah, that's my full spoiler-free review of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, again, subscribe to the channel for more summer movie reviews like this. We're going live for San Diego Comic-Con next week, and I'm hoping to put some more stuff on the walls. We're going to do more, and just audio's getting upgraded. It's just a fun time to be a real friend here on the channel. Alrighty, y'all. Well, again, thanks so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll catch you at the next screening. Yeah, and you know who I'm not going to catch? That fisherman on a bad day. Trust me, I'm going to see him and walk the other way. Like, I don't want to know what you did last summer, sir. I'm keeping, my name is Bennett, and I'm not in it. Yeah, that's right.